Roughly 500,000 undocumented immigrants could soon become U.S. citizens, thanks to an expansive new policy proposal from the White House offering legal protections to undocumented spouses of U.S. citizens and their children. The plan would prevent them from facing deportation while making it easier for them to apply for work visas and permanent residency. CBS News immigration reporter Camilo Montoya-Galvez is in San Antonio, Texas, to talk a little bit more about this. So, Camilo, last night on America Decides, senior advisor and assistant to President Biden, Tom Perez, spoke about the new policy proposal. I want to play a little bit of what he had to say.
The average person who benefits from this program has been in this country 23 years. They are part of the fabric of the community. Their kids were born here. Their church is in the neighborhood. Their kids are going to school. They're business owners. And so I'm confident this is both a proper legal pathway, and more importantly, it's about keeping families together, keeping communities together.
Okay, so this is primarily for undocumented immigrants who are married to American citizens. But you can't just get married like last week or something like that. I mean, there's more to it. Can you explain who would be impacted by this policy and then who's left out?
That's right, Anne-Marie. Good morning. This major policy announcement by President Biden on immigration is expected to benefit hundreds of thousands of unauthorized immigrants who are married to U.S. citizens and who, importantly, have lived here in the U.S. for at least 10 years, a decade. And they also must pass background checks, and they cannot pose a threat to national security or public safety. This does not benefit any new arrivals. People who have been recently coming to the U.S.-Mexico border, Anne-Marie, will not benefit from this announcement. And this marriage must have been undertaken before June 17th. So there is a cutoff date for that qualification, too. And it is important to note that these people will be able to apply for work permits and deportation protections while here in the U.S., but most importantly, they will be able to get a green card based on that sponsorship by their U.S. citizen spouse here in the U.S. Right now, many of them, because they have lived here in the U.S. illegally for some time, Anne-Marie, have to first go back to their home country and re-enter the U.S. legally to get that green card, but that process can actually trigger a 10-year ban from the U.S. So this will allow them to adjust their status to green card status while here in the U.S. without having to leave the country. So it is a major policy announcement by the administration.
So, you know, you've seen a lot of the polls when they ask people about the sort of policies that they want to see implemented. And yes, many people agree that something needs to be done at the border to limit the number of undocumented immigrants coming over. But they also say that they want to see compassionate policies put in place for the people who are here. This, you would think, would be a perfect example of that. A married couple who have already built a life, maybe had children over a decade, and so finding a pathway to legalize an individual's status seems like an act of compassion versus throwing them out. But Donald Trump doesn't like it, and he's spoken out against it. He called it, what he said was Biden has created another invitation for illegal immigration through his mass amnesty order. Is that what's happening here? Because, you know, the critics are going to say, great. Now you just gave people one more reason to try and sneak over the border because now there's another pathway to legalization and then citizenship.
Well, Anne-Marie, you can certainly have policy disagreements with this announcement. We are in a democratic country, and you can have very different views on an issue like immigration, which is one of the most polarizing and heated issues in the country. But the fact of the matter is that this will only benefit, Anne-Marie, people who were already on paper eligible for green cards because of that marriage to a U.S. citizen spouse. Before this announcement, they would have to leave the country and come back and potentially face that ban to get that green card, but now they can get that green card while here in the U.S. without leaving the country. So it would offer them a streamlined process to get that green card that they were already eligible for. So that is very important to note. It also, again, does not affect the migrants who have been recently crossing the U.S.-Mexico border illegally. This is only for long-standing unauthorized immigrants who, again, have lived here in the U.S. for 10 years. And there has also been this accusation, Anne-Marie, that this is meant to convert immigrants into voters before the election, and that is simply not true. These people eventually will get green cards, but they will not be able to vote as permanent residents. Permanent residents have to wait 3 or 5 years with that status until they can apply for citizenship, because again, only citizens can vote in federal elections. So no one will be converted into an eligible voter under this policy anytime soon.
Camilo, thank you very much.